And now, James and Stu present the Top Turnbuckle Podcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with me, Stu.
And me, James. And today we are joined by a very special guest.
Wow, what a great introduction. Thank you for allowing me to come on the show.
It's our pleasure, mate.
Absolute pleasure to have you on here, Johnny.
Jonathan Koo. A lot of you would know Jonathan from the Facebook pages. He's a contributor continuously and he's much appreciated, and we're going to get his expertise today.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely what you said. Yeah, fantastic. It's great to have you on here, Johnny.
No, thank you very much. I just want to thank you both for allowing me to come on the show. You guys are doing a great job. You said about I'm the first guest on the show. In fact, I think I'm the second guest. If we go back to episode 2, James's dog made a great appearance, and I actually feel like I've got a lot to live up to.
If you could see James's face now, it does not counteract exactly what Johnny's just said there.
He was one fucking unwanted guest. I believe you, me. But no, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, Johnny.
Mate.
It really is, mate.
Yeah. In all honesty, thank you for letting me come on here. You guys are doing a great job with the podcast, episode 4 now.
Thank you very much.
The Facebook page is amazing. Everyone's just getting involved. It's a great little community we've got going on, and I'm just glad to be part of it.
Brilliant, mate. And that is what we want. We want people to feel a part of the community. Anything that you guys want to post, even if you feel it is small and tiny, please do. Our community is just fantastic, and they will get back to you. And any questions, anything. Yeah. We had a fantastic question actually the other day. I think it was one of your friends, Johnny, Jim.
Oh yeah, Jim.
Yeah, he was talking about the Mankind music.
Yeah,
it was a great question.
That threw me right out.
I'm out.
Massive, as you know.
I could only think of two.
Stumped me.
Yeah, I could only think of 2 people.
Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah.
Who tried it and it didn't work.
I had a little research to try and find if there was anybody else at all, and I couldn't find anyone who had different music. And no one did it as good as Mankind either.
No way.
Foley is God. That's all I'm going to say. Foley is God.
Bang, bang.
Okay, so I think we should move on to our topics now, guys.
Actually, before we start, can I just mention something?
Of course you can.
I've known you two guys for about 25 years now, I think. Known of you guys. In fact, we used to go to school together.
We did, yes.
I don't think our paths all crossed that much at school. I remember we probably had some lessons together, and I remember you guys after school as well. But in that whole 25 years, I don't remember us ever having a conversation about wrestling whatsoever.
And that's the reason why I put up the post that you saw on Facebook the other day. Wrestling back when we were younger it wasn't seen in a good light. It was something you almost had to hide.
I agree with you totally there. It was much the same, again, like all of us here, massive wrestling fan, but I was also a massive comic book fan, still am to this day. Both of those two share this very, very, very similar paths.
Yes, they do. There was a stigma around wrestling.
Yeah, big time.
There was when we were growing up. Cool. I mean, I felt like I had to hide the fact I was a wrestling fan.
It still happens today.
Every
now and then you might mention it, people still look down at it.
Yeah.
But it's great because even though it was like 25 years ago, which makes you feel very old now.
Yeah, cheers for rubbing that in.
Sorry about that.
Still in my 20s, mate. I just look old. I'm like the shit Benjamin Button.
And the brilliant thing about wrestling, guys, is it can bring people together.
Absolutely.
And now we've got like 25 years of wrestling to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
There's always a positive to everything, mate.
Exactly.
There is indeed.
Yeah. Shall we go for our first topic?
Go for it.
So, John, if you want to give us your introduction to the first topic that you picked.
Right. Now, I've struggled to pick it. I've had to go back and forward on myself so many times.
You're not the only one, mate.
At one point, I was going to change it from top 3 to about top 12. Okay. My first topic will be the top 3 unofficial Top Turnbuckle Podcast Hall of Famers that may go into the Hall of Fame or may not go into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'll start if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Right, my first one needs no introduction. He's extremely popular at the moment. Well, I was going to say like us, but he is miles more bigger than us at the moment, unfortunately. It's Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim Cornette is an absolute character. He's like Marmite. I absolutely love him. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
I fucking love Marmite.
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of him, right? But I do like Jim Cornette, though.
yeah.
I love Jim Cornette.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into much detail about Jim Cornette because, for goodness sake, he's out there now and he's worked in all the territories. He was famous for managing the Midnight Express.
A great tag team.
Yep. He was an owner. He owned Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Very true.
And I feel like that was very before its time as well.
Yeah, it was almost... And another thing about it is, although it was sort of before its time, it's also a throwback back to the territories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was really clever. And it was unfortunate it didn't take off. A lot of people come from there. Chris Candido come from there. Sonny.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Sonny
Well,
come
they
from there.
were a couple.
They were a couple then. Let's not
On
go
and
into
off,
the
really.
short...
Yeah,
let's not go into the
not
Shawn Michaels and all
in
that.
recent events, let's cut that one. Let's
They
veto that one.
We'll pass on that for now.
Yes.
They did have quite a good working relationship with the WWF as well, back in 1993.
Yeah.
They did, and that was because of Jim Cornette. They wanted Jim Cornette a lot, and he stuck to his guns and his commitments. He stayed with Smoky Mountain Wrestling until the very end, until it went under. Yes, he
Fair
did.
play to him.
I think he actually brought in the tag team titles at Survivor Series 1993, I think it was, and it was the Rock and Roll Express. And they took on the Heavenly Bodies.
Holy
Yes,
shit.
yes, the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
Dr.
What
Tom
a name.
Yeah, and
You never
I
get
tell
away
you
with
what-
that now.
guys, what a name, Dr.
Yeah.
Dr. Tom. I mean, he has produced some of the greatest talents. You know, he's a trainer.
Just
And-
for those that
The
don't know,
Rock.
give us a few names.
The Rock. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many. He's done so many. I can't even. He's one of those people who has done so much and been a trainer for everyone that I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Apart from The Rock, we're talking like I think Kurt Angle, Edge,
was one of them,
yeah,
that's right.
Christian, just loads.
Go and have a look online. Google him. I'm
One thing I
100%
do
agree
remember
with you.
about him, though, he didn't have a great run with the New Body Donners, with him and Skip.
No.
I think they changed his name to Zip, and they
God.
Jesus Christ.
And they actually had a manager who was the opposite to Sonny, and it was Cloudy.
Cloudy.
Oh, really?
You'd never get away with it now. It's a transvestite.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll leave it
Right.
there as well. With
It was a very, very short-lived storyline.
okay.
The Dirty White Boy come from there as well, if anyone remembers him.
No, I don't
Yes,
remember at all.
yes, I do remember him.
Yep, Dirty White Boy.
And I think the Undertaker actually done a few matches in Smoky Mountain Wrestling as well. And there's a very early match with him and Kane.
Oh, shit.
Yes, there is. Very, very good.
Shit,
And-
just my homework's adding up tonight. Jesus Christ.
Many, many talents went over to Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
Including Savage. Savage went
Oh, right.
over for a pay-per-view.
Wow.
As Johnny rightfully said, The Undertaker
Yeah.
went through.
Bloody hell.
Multiple people from WWF. As he said, there was a crossover for a little while.
I was literally just about to ask, was this at the same time while they were performing with, contracted the WWF?
Yes, it was about 93, 94.
I think even into 95, I think they done a little bit, because I remember there was a Shawn Michaels match with Buddy Landell on one of their last pay-per-views they done.
God, the Nature Boy Buddy Landell.
Who I always thought was kind of like a rip-off of Ric Flair, because they kind of looked exactly the same.
Yeah, he was, unfortunately. So yeah, moving on from there. I mean, he's done it all. He's been a manager. I mean, he managed Yokozuna when he was WWF champion. It's Mr. Fuji. Obviously, wasn't that great a promo to be able to get across like Jim Cornette could. Managed Vader.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, managed Owen, managed the British Bulldog, and then he was
Forgotten he managed the Bulldog.
yeah, and then creative
director or something.
Yeah, he was head of creative for a little while.
Didn't he go off to run OVW as well?
Yes, he did.
Oh, shit.
And he produced John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Shelton
hell.
Benjamin.
I think Santino was one of them as well.
Yep, Brock Lesnar.
Bloody hell.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
mate.
damn right.
Coast Maze, Jim Cornette.
Well,
Yeah, it's a great choice.
Look him up, guys. Jim Cornette Experience. It is so funny.
you need to go on YouTube. It's fantastic. It's a brilliant watch. Very insightful. Very funny.
It's laugh out loud funny.
So, going from a funny pick to a humorous pick, I do apologise for this. I'm going to bring it down a touch. And I'm going to keep this first pick very short and sweet. And for my pick of the Hall of Fame that is never, ever going to happen, it's Chris Benoit. Yeah, that says it all. We all know what happened. We all know on that very, very dark day what he did. And it is tragic. It's very sad. It is absolutely devastating what happened. And unfortunately, that's going to black mark his name forever.
It's very difficult with the Benoit name.
Yeah.
He was a great technical wrestler.
A world of his own.
Even before all of that happened, I would go tell people to go watch a Benoit match.
Yeah.
Because he was that good. He wasn't always great on the microphone, but he didn't need to be.
No.
The stuff he done in the ring was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, his in-ring capability, like you said, was second to none. He was one. He will always be one of the all-time great technical wrestlers. However, because of obviously what happened, and I'm not going to go into what happened because it's too dark to talk about.
It's just such a shame because he had a great run in Japan. He went to ECW.
Yep.
He had a great run in WCW and was also a member of the Four Horsemen. Went to the WWF, WWE, had a great run there as well.
Finally got his big push.
Yeah. The match at WrestleMania, the ending with Guerrero.
It's such a... If you can get close to
also the feud with Kurt Angle.
Yeah. If you can get close to a proper tearjerker moment for wrestling, that championship win
That's it, yeah.
is beautiful.
Even
absolutely beautiful.
The Smackdown 2003, Paul Heyman was running the behind the scenes at the time, and the tag division was incredible.
Yeah.
You had Benoit and I think it was Benoit and Angle, you had Edge and Rey Mysterio, and the matches were great every week.
I mean, I've talked about it before. I think previously, either when we've recorded or in the social media groups. But his ladder match with Chris Jericho,
Royal Rumble,
2001.
It's one of my all-time favourite ladder matches. And it's as I said, it's such a shame what happened, and it's
that's true.
He's going to be blacklisted forever.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't want to touch this one for barge path.
That's fine.
I can't. Obviously, I know with John's picks, like there's people who can never go in. I just can't. I can't put him in there.
I'll keep this one very brief, and this is going to be the last thing I'll say about it. When James was messaging me on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, asking what my picks were, and I sent them over, and the first reply I got was, "Are you sure you want to go with this?"
Yeah.
And it's, as I said, I had to pick one that was never going to happen.
Oh.
And my picks are, I've gone for one that's never going to happen. I've gone for one tag team, which may also be a little bit controversial, but we'll get to that later. And I've gone for a celebrity. And that's I'm done. I'm done. That's all I want to say about this now.
Yeah, let's hear from you guys in the comments on that one. I have nothing to add on it. I mean, the only thing that we missed out there is his run as the Pegasus Kid, probably in New Japan.
Yeah.
But I'm
he did have some great matches. But it's just a very difficult subject to address. Yeah. And even nowadays, wrestlers do the crossface. Takes you right back to Chris Benoit. You can't help it.
Yeah.
There's that immediate feeling, isn't there? There's that immediate thing that comes through your mind when you see it.
Pretty sure Daniel Bryan's using it at the moment, isn't he?
I think he is actually, yes.
He's using the
AEW.
The crossface was done, I think, a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw it. Other thing, I just remember when... sorry.
We do this, John.
Shit with tangents.
It was the year it all happened.
Yeah.
I remember it was the Survivor Series, and this was about 4 or 5 months after what happened, and Shawn Michaels did the crossface. And I remember the crowd just booed.
I remember that, yeah.
No one knew how to react to it. And it was just a shock that they actually did that.
He must have got in some shit for that.
It might have been something where he didn't even think.
Possibly, yeah.
Sometimes they called it in the ring and he might not have even thought. No, probably put it on and then thought, oh, fuck.
Maybe I should have done this. Yeah. But one last thing, sorry.
That's fine.
Go for it. That is why you're here, John.
Yeah. This past week on SmackDown, Pete Dunne, who's obviously been called up to SmackDown now.
Scrappy do.
Yeah.
Let me at it. What a prick move that was.
Absolutely.
Fucking hell.
They're fucking picking him up now like Scrappy do as well. He's swinging his arms and legs.
We're 1 week away from him going da-da-da-da-da-da.
I'll never look at him the same again now.
It's a shame because I think he...
They didn't need to change the gimmick.
I think he was the future of
Have they cut
the company.
his hair off? Yeah, sorry, I know it's a random comment.
Yeah, I think his head's shaved now. Yeah.
Because I've only ever seen him with that shit flat cap on.
Well, he usually wrestles with his hair down.
Yeah.
But he's got that Peaky Blinders look anyway outside the ring. I don't know if anyone's ever seen him. He always is very smart.
So I always thought
and he has his hair back. Right. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen.
I genuinely thought they were trying to make that look like a shit man's version of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
I think they're doing a Peaky Blinders rip-off.
They're doing something like it. I don't think they even know.
Wrong fucking acts. That's all I'm saying.
But
sorry.
No, that's all right. But just to end it, this past week on SmackDown, they actually called Pete Dunne, Butch.
Right,
That's the one that
Butch,
completely got thrown off then altogether. And they referenced him as the Ravid Wolverine.
I'd read something about that.
Which I'm completely shocked by because I never thought they'd ever mention anything regarding Benoit again. And if they've called him by his old nickname, I don't know what they're thinking.
I genuinely have never seen your face look so disgusted, James.
No, I'm just shocked because... I'm shocked at Vince really because especially with the Austin Theory thing where they've took the Austin away.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
if you compare, because they don't want him compared to Steve Austin.
Oh, like that's ever gonna fucking happen?
That's Vince.
He's got a better fucking chance being compared to Alberto Del boring as fuck.
Yeah, but that's why I'm surprised they've done something like that.
But thinking of the old Austin Aries, when he was in the company, they never changed his name then. No, he was Austin.
No, they were just compelled to shit on him for a great height.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Anyway, right.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. That's my first. That's my down. Well, that's my main downer one done. Back to you, Johnny.
Right.
Second pick.
So my first pick for the Hall of Fame would be Goldust, Dustin Rhodes.
Good.
Nice. Yes. Absolutely, yes.
So obviously he's been in the business for well over 30 years now, and as of last week he's still going. He was on AEW against CM Punk just a week ago.
I've got to say, since he's been in AEW, this is the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's in fantastic shape.
Phenomenal for a guy of his age. Yeah. He looks outstanding physique.
Now he's been wrestling since 1988.
He sure has.
And
Jesus.
He started off in Japan. Went to the NWA, had a brief stint there, went to WWF 1991.
Yep.
He teamed with his dad, Dusty, took on DiBiase and Virgil at the Royal Rumble 1991. It didn't last long, went back to WCW and just had this great run there. And when I think of WCW in the early 90s, Dustin Rhodes is one of the guys I think of who was there the whole time.
Yeah.
The natural
Dustin Rhodes, yeah. He had great feuds with Barry Windham, Steve Austin, Ricky Steamboat, Arn Anderson, Terry Funk.
Can we please,
Brian Pillman, didn't he?
A
little bit.
Yeah.
Not forget the god-awful version character he did called Seven.
I was going to get to that, yes. Yes, I'm coming to that.
That's the best promo I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. It was a very strange time.
Sorry.
Yeah, the Seven gimmick,
it didn't even last long.
Also everything of it's had to be taken off the network because he's staring at children through a window.
It makes him look like a nonce.
It did. He was.
That is creepy as shit.
He's watching through the windows.
Yeah, I know.
And then a week later, he debuts. He flies to the ring, like Jeepers Creepers. He's all in black, white face. And then he just throws it all on the floor. He says, "I'm not doing this gimmick anymore." And
that's this shit.
Do you know what? That's why I used to like watching WCW because people would just shoot on the fucking company when they got out there because it was live. It was. I think it was over. They sacked his dad the week before, and he was pissed off about it, and he just went on a tangent.
Rightly so.
In the middle of the ring, and if you remember, it's like I've heard these people say like that was a work.
Oh no way!
What would you get out of that? What would you get out of that being a work?
Well, what happened if it was a work? What happened to the character Seven afterwards?
Well, the idea was that he was.
Yeah.
The idea was that Seven was sort of dropped for Dustin Rhodes because Dustin Rhodes was going to create hell himself.
Yeah, they were basically trying to get the WCW version of the Undertaker.
Pretty much.
Which, let's face it, is.
But I've heard an idea that Seven was never on the cards, and it was a gimmick for him to come down, shit on, and then turn around and go, I'm not doing gimmicks anymore. I am Dustin Rhodes.
I'm not going to lie, in my head I had that shit on as literal, like he was going to take a steaming dump whilst being suspended from it. If he'd have done that, I'd have paid money.
I've heard that story. I don't believe it myself.
No, I
think they pulled that money into doing those, like airing those promos, getting him floating to the ring, this whole costume, just to throw it away a week later.
But with the swerving stuff going on at the time with Russo, would you be surprised if they didn't try something shit like that?
Oh, Russo was changing it every week, wasn't he? Doing something different.
Where it would be a swerve, even he'd make a new character and he'd still fucking swerve stuff in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It was terrible anyway.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
I mean, it weren't terrible really for me. I enjoyed it, but for the company, I don't think it was.
I've watched that promo a hell of a lot, and I will still go back and watch it because it makes me die.
I don't think I've seen it in a long time.
He talks about powers that be. You can shove this up your arse. You can shove that up your arse. Then all sort of things.
Yeah, I do remember it.
I mean,
because they cut to the commentary team at one point. The commentary team had just all got their mouths open and they're silent.
Oh Christ!
But he went on to. Before the Seven character, he obviously went to become Goldust in the WWF, and I remember first hearing about it that he was coming in, and I was wondering what gimmick he was going to have because at that time everybody had a gimmick.
Yeah,
and I remember seeing him, and he had his it was all Hollywood. He was quoting his movies and everything, and it was just very strange to see him like that compared to how he was before. It was like someone completely different,
and it was very risque.
Very for the time, yes, definitely.
It was innovative as hell.
I remember Razor Scott Hall.
Yeah,
he was worried and refusing to work with him.
Yeah.
At the time.
It's one of my moments for later, Johnny.
It's one of my absolute favourite.
Though
it's up there with. I mean, I've talked about Roddy Piper when we did our all-time favourites. It's one of my favourite Piper matches, the Hollywood Street Fight.
Yeah, WrestleMania 12. Yeah,
where Piper
I've actually got that written down here.
Where he actually broke his fist.
Yeah. And then Goldust is stripped off, and he's got
bra and panties,
stockings and whatever else.
I know. It's unreal, isn't it?
Oh.
I remember when he gave Ahmed Johnson mouth to mouth. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Ahmed went crazy over it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that was
the
fake
Scott Hall, because that's going to be one of our later topics, so I might as well let that loose now because I've got a couple more things to talk about. Scott Hall's not wanting to work with Goldust actually works in the Royal Rumble 1996 match. If you watch, Scott Hall is so disgusted by it all that it actually makes the match because he still does it. All this stuff, like he rubs against him, and all this.
That's more credit to both of them.
Yeah.
You know, Rhodes is more than happy to sell that
Scott
character. And Hall's reaction is, it makes it even better.
Yeah, but it's real. He had wanted nothing to do with it. And Johnny, he absolutely wanted nothing to do with it.
And then it got a bit more strange after this because Goldust, he turned face. And I remember in the ring on Raw, Jerry Lawler, he came out and goes, but you're queer, you're gay, aren't you? Yeah. And Goldust was no, it's
no way.
And Goldust, I remember his reaction was, no, it's all bizarre, it's all mind games, it's just being bizarre. And I think he had a bit of a run with Triple H at that time as well, and that's when sort of China came into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to interject on there, Johnny. One of the scariest things I ever saw when China grabbed Marlena and started swinging her about, it doesn't even look like a human being that she is swinging around.
It looks ragdoll.
It is unreal. I don't know if she was actually injured in that, but if that was a sell job, Marlena should have been women's champion because it was unreal. Go back and have a look at that.
I think it was from In Your House 15, Cold Day in Hell.
It was.
And I think it was like May 1997, I think it was.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Brilliant, mate. It was the main event, Undertaker versus Steve Austin.
That's right.
First title shot Austin gets,
That's right.
I believe.
I think you're right, actually, yeah. I think that is true.
Certainly singles.
Yes. Things changed again for Goldust after that because Luna came into it. And he became the artist formerly known as Goldust.
I think I'm the.
all about
Do you know what? I think I'm the only one that actually enjoyed that. I thought that was great.
I can't remember that.
There was one week he came out dressed as a baby. One week he came out with a ball in his mouth.
Now that you've said that, yes, yeah.
He was
that's a visual image I don't need in my head.
He was reading the Dr. Zeus, the Cat in the Hat or something. It was a very, very strange time.
Oh man!
I think he had a bit of a feud with Vader at that time as well.
Yes, he did. He was at Royal Rumble 1998, a very small feud.
Yes, that's right. And then it kind of, I think, sort of come to an end, and then he went back to WCW again, from what I remember.
He had enough of being Goldust, and he wanted to be Dustin Rhodes. He's also going through a divorce.
Yes, that is right.
Come out
Terry.
With, yeah. He come out with placards. Preaching like almost like a Christian type thing.
Right. That's right, and he burnt the outfit, didn't he? I think on Raw.
Yeah, it was a really weird time for him. I don't know if he was going through something personally, but it didn't work. It was weird.
I think it ended up with a feud between him and Val Venus, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, but that kind of went on for a little while, and he sort of went back to WCW. And then there's a bit of an interesting thing in WCW. He was back to Dustin Rhodes again, but he was actually nicknamed the American Nightmare, which now Cody is called.
Holy shit, I didn't know that at all.
It's always an easy place to go with the opposite of the American Dream.
The American Dream,
yeah.
But it keeps that family tie.
It does, yeah. He went back to WWE again, and he had a good run with Booker T.
I'm not going to lie. I fucking hated that run.
I absolutely loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Do you remember when he got fucking electrocuted? And he used to, and he used to stutter. It was so funny. He was talking about like shiitake mushrooms and stuff. I was going shit like that down the line.
God.
Oh, it was so funny.
Well, I think it was Evolution or Triple H was the one who pushed him into the electric box on Raw, which started it.
Yeah, I think it was. This is testing my knowledge. I think it was Batista and Orton who pushed him in.
Oh, yes, I think you are. Yeah, I think that's right, actually.
Because they were part of the tag team of it.
Yes, I think you're right there.
I'm staying out of the conversation this bit. I hated that run. It was shite.
They had his moments here and there.
My favourite part of Goldust at that period was he buried Goldberg and put the wig on his head.
Oh, yes, yeah. I forgot about that.
Did he?
Yes.
Yes.
I honestly had no clue about that.
Fucking hero.
Second hero, the ring post is the hero.
Just thinking exactly the same thing.
WrestleMania 39 is going to happen.
I've stayed off that topic and talked about that.
I'm pretty sure we've mentioned that every episode so far.
I think you have actually, yeah, thinking about it.
Get them at episode 100, we'll still be doing it.
Dustin Rhodes, I think his career sort of fell down a little bit after that. He joined TNA and became Black Reign.
Yeah.
I didn't follow much of his career at this point, but he was a lot out of shape. I think he was sort of, the drugs and everything was taking a toll on his body, and I think he was there for a little while. But
he was. It was a bit,
sort of hit and miss.
It's a dark patch on his career, sadly.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's face it, he's come back with a vengeance.
He has, but just after that, he went back to WWE again and teamed with Cody. Yeah. They won the titles with from the Shield.
Fucking Stardust.
Yeah, he done the Stardust run as well. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Obviously, you're going to move on to this, Johnny, but I just want to say, because I'm quite a traditionalist with wrestling matches, one of the best matches I saw AEW ever put on was the brother versus brother.
Absolutely.
And the bit at the end.
That's a proper
that
heartstring
even choked
moment.
me up when he Cody did that, covered in blood.
It was a great match.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, definitely a great match. And I always thought...
Fucking hairs on my arms are just stood up thinking about that.
was
Fantastic. Fucking look at that.
It was a great match. And I always thought as well, like even now, I still feel like Dustin's got one last run in him.
Yeah, big time.
And I even thought when Kenny Omega was the champion, they could have had just a short run between them. Yeah. And I think it would have been great.
I'd put cash money on. I think that's going to happen someday.
I'd like to see, even if he didn't win the title, just one last run for the title.
Big time.
If he can't win, when he retires.
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about just before we started recording, his match recently against Punk was just fucking great. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fucking brilliant.
He's a master of his craft. I mean, when you look at the psychology as well of Goldust, and then you go to the natural, there's such a contrast there, and he's able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
He that's a great pick.
And I still feel as well, like, with Cody now gone back to the WWE, is there a possibility that Dustin could follow him? I know he said recently that he's happy in AEW.
Yeah.
But everyone moves eventually. Could he go back there?
Yeah. I don't know.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but
absolutely he does.
He is good in AEW as well.
I think with the career he's had, I genuinely believe he should be held in the same high regard as his father.
Yeah, definitely.
Really does.
Close. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sorry, I just think that Dusty was such a legend. A legend.
Let's face it, he's the only guy that can make a black suit with yellow polka dots look fucking awesome.
Yeah, and also you got to look back into the NWA days. He was the creative driving force behind nearly everything.
Yeah. No,
so,
yeah.
But you're still wrong.
But that, no, it wasn't. It wasn't anything like that. It was like, he is such a legend. He's like up there for me, like potential Mount Rushmore. Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, there's a topic.
He could be on that Mount Rushmore. He had such an influence over the business and the territory days. It was unbelievable.
He's a big enough name as well. People know that name, especially from back then as well.
I mean, look,
they're living off it now.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Yeah. I mean, you look, people. We all know Dusty Rhodes, and then straight away you've got Dustin.
Yeah.
And then Cody. That's some big ass fucking shoes to,
That's right. And Cody, think what Cody said already. He's come back to WWE because he wants to win the world title in Madison Square Garden, something that his dad Dusty couldn't do.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Good on him, man. I fucking hope it happens.
And that's why Cody will succeed, because Cody has a story moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He now has a mission moving forward, and it's a very easy story to tell.
Fucking dethrones Roman Reigns, for fuck's sake. Good. Done with that shit.
I can't see that happening for a real long time.
It's going to be a time, I think, before it happens. But yeah, he will win the title eventually, I think.
It's got to happen.
If he does win a title, I think it will be where Reigns has... He may have to defend twice. You know, what happened with... I think it happened with Rollins for a little while. That he had the United States and the WWE Championship, and he had to defend both for a little while.
Yes.
I could see that storyline working.
Stay tuned for that storyline as and when it happens. Yes. You called it first, James. Well done.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Right.
You're still wrong about
I do totally agree with you. I totally agree with both of you. I just think that Dusty's on a whole different stratosphere.
No, I will agree there.
Yeah,
I will agree.
I think Dusty's made his own name, I think, with the Goldust character and everything else he's done. I think he's standalone
not
career.
7.
Yeah, we'll leave 7 out. Maybe Black Rain as well.
7's my favourite promo he ever fucking did, guys.
It is good.
It's fucking great.
Right, over for your next one.
Is it mine?
It is.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with Demolition.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you want to talk, Johnny? Do you want to... Because you've got them as well.
I have, yes. I actually picked Demolition as well.
Okay, so Demolition were the tag team champions for, I think it was it 2, nearly 3 years?
Yeah, they won the titles 3 times.
But they held it for an undefeated streak, didn't they?
Yes, 467 days.
Yeah, I mean, that's mental. When you put into contrast, at the time, you had the British Bulldogs there, the Brainbusters, the Rockers,
Heart
Foundation. Yeah. You had Strike Force, who I think they originally won the titles off, which was Tito Santana and
Rick Martel. For WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, it was the golden era of WWF's tag team division, and they dominated it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, one interesting point, which I mentioned to the guys here, is that the person who come up with the idea of Demolition never made a dime off of it. Randy Colley, is it?
Yeah, Randy Colley.
Randy Colley, John, innit?
Yeah.
He was originally part of a tag team called the Bulldogs, and he came up with the idea of Demolition with Bill Eadie. He was the original Smash. But what happened was, when he went to the Ring of Smash, the crowd called Moondogs. They knew who he was.
Yeah, I remember you saying that now, yeah.
So they had to get rid of him, and he didn't make a dime off it. Sure. They replaced him with Barry Darsow, who went on to be Smash.
Yeah.
I actually think Barry Darsow fitted the character better.
He was better mic promo and all that sort of thing, and yeah, absolutely. But it's just sad that someone who comes up with the idea...
Yeah, that's true.
...actually doesn't benefit from it at all.
Oh, that's some cold shit, that is.
The music makes Demolition.
Yeah.
As soon as it hits and they step out, they mean business.
Yeah. They're actually one of the first... I won't use the word individuals because they're a duo. They're one of the first people that are heels that actually get a face reaction.
Okay.
It was
they were cool. So even though they were supposedly heels, people started to turn. They started to cheer because the music was cool. They had that outfit.
It's the Jake Roberts effect, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they all they were in black leather, leather mask.
Mad Max 2. That's all that screams to me. I don't know.
Dominatrix, they look like now, don't they? Let's be fair.
I remember watching them, when I was a kid. Watching WWF, but I'll be openly honest, I know shit all about them.
No, it's sad. I mean, Axe, who was Bill Eadie, he actually had a massive career before even joining Demolition.
Right.
He was the Masked Superstar. He worked in Japan. He worked in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I believe he was at least 3-time Georgia Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. And you're talking about people where there was Jake the Snake Roberts, Junkyard Dog, Ted DiBiase was one of the mainstays there. That was a quite strong territory.
Yeah.
He was also amazing friends with Andre the Giant, and he was one of the first to body slam him.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Because they were friends and Andre allowed it. Yeah. Yeah, because you've always had that thing about WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
Where that was the first time. It was not the first time. I believe other people had done it. I'm trying to think of who.
Even Hogan had slammed Andre before WrestleMania 3.
Yes, I believe he had. So was it a Shea Stadium?
Yeah, Showdown in Shea. I think it was 81, 82.
81, yeah.
That's a good year, that.
Yeah.
Year I was born.
Yeah. I don't know if he did it at Shea Stadium. Did he do it at Shea Stadium?
Pretty sure he did. I might have to go back and just rewatch it.
Because that's their most famous match, except really for the WrestleMania 3.
I had no idea about any of this.
I know they had a few other matches sort of scattered around.
Is that one was, if you remember, that one was done in a stadium and it was open top.
That's
the Shea Stadium one. And it was the first time anyone had used the belt. Hit someone with the belt.
Yeah. No way.
I don't know why the belt was even involved, because I don't think either of them were champion.
I don't think either were, to be honest.
Is this... So Hogan was in this match, right?
Yes,
right.
But I'm sure I'm right in saying that one of them...
You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
one of them used a title belt, to end the match. So I don't know if it was down at ringside or something like that.
Possibly.
It might have been a different match, but I'm sure that one of the Shea Stadium match was one of the first times that the title belt was used as a foreign object.
Just like talking like the belt was on display.
It might have been on display. Someone picked it up, and I think it was Hogan's. He was the heel and hit Andre with it.
Yeah, I was about to say Hogan was heel, and I think I remember him wearing blue as well. And
he was with Freddie Blassie.
Yeah, Freddie Blassie, that's it.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Every day's a school day. I like this.
Yep.
That's more for my home. Fucking hell, I'm never going to get sleep tonight.
I think he was the bolder Terry Bollea at one point.
Not Thunderlips.
No, don't say that.
That's the best fucking performance he's ever put in, by the way.
Yeah, fucking Thunderlips was
Rocky 3.
Because he had a stint in AWA after that.
Yeah.
I think he was in AWA when he did Rocky 3. Because we talked about it with the Nick Buckwinkle situation.
That's right.
I think the WWF didn't want him to go do Rocky 3. And I think it was around the time that he went to the AWA and they allowed him to do it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Fuck Hogan, bring back Thunderlips.
Yeah, so
He never did come back as Thunderlips, like a special occasion. Just the one
the man melting a lust. Do you remember?
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Fucking hell.
God.
That's what they fucking called him though, wasn't it? If you remember, he come to handle all them women, didn't he?
He had like feather in his hat as well.
Yeah. Like a fucking pimp.
Was it like a cowboy hat with like giant red lips on it?
It was like it was like a fedora in white with like some feathers on it and shit. Wasn't it?
Didn't he call everyone meatball as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was fighting the Italian stallion.
If there is anyone out there that has never watched Rocky 3, go on YouTube, Rocky versus Thunderlips. It is the dumbest fucking thing you'll ever see, but it's just brilliant.
It also is funny that they make it so wrestling's real, because at the time they were still covering for the business.
Yeah.
Because he gets in there and beats fuck out of Rocky too.
Take my gloves off. Take my gloves off.
He throws him into the crowds. There's fucking chairs going everywhere and all sorts. He cuts his gloves off, doesn't he?
Yeah, gets
He cuts his gloves off and starts hitting him in the chest. Then they pose at the end for a charity bloody
got Mickey
picture.
in the corner going, don't go back in.
Can I have a photo? My kids will love this.
Okay, back on to Demolition. Got what we fucking were now. Yeah, I mean, we can just. I don't know if you've got anything else to add, John, but my point for them is they were dominant in a golden era and they were fantastic. Their whole package, they had everything, and for me, they just deserved to go in. They should have already been in.
It's like you mentioned before we started recording, and obviously again just a few seconds ago, that golden era of tag team wrestling.
Yeah,
and it is shocking that they're not in there for their achievements.
Well, if you think that they're the dominant force of that era,
but you look at the caliber of tag teams from that golden era.
Yeah.
And to the shit that they are putting in there.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I totally agree. And that's what my issue is with like the New Day taking the records off them, because
that's criminal.
Place the New Day, and I'm a fan of the New Day, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
But place the New Day back in that shark-infested pool of those tag teams.
They wouldn't have lasted.
They wouldn't have lasted.
Can I just drop one other name in there?
Yeah.
The Usos.
The Usos the same. The reason why the Usos and the New Day have so many tag team titles is because they're the only fucking two tag teams.
Exactly. That's the
that
fucking
are
point.
Because all they do is they just stick two singles together.
Yeah.
I mean, they even did it. I mean, we had the bar for a little while, but they started off as singles.
Yeah.
The pair of
them. And they were a great tag run as well.
They were good together.
Yeah, but I get annoyed when they keep splitting people up, because you need a tag team division. If you're going to have a tag team division, you actually need fucking real tag teams.
Like, not to go off on a tangent, this is why I'm absolutely loving the whole RK Bro.
Yeah, we spoke about that. I don't know. Did you see my thing about that
I
earlier?
loved it. Yeah.
I think it's some of Randy Orton's best work.
It is.
Yeah. At first, I wasn't sure about it. I thought, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, same here. I couldn't see how Randy Orton was going to work with Matt Riddle.
Do any of you feel that Randy now's really enjoying himself?
Yeah, and it shows.
Yeah.
It's a different Randy Orton now.
Yeah,
totally.
He's breaking character every episode. He's having a laugh.
Yeah, I think he's having fun with it. And at the end of the day, the business is about giving back.
Yeah,
Randy's, what is he now, 14-time champion?
Yeah.
You know, it's time to be a mentor to some of them younger guys.
He's a legend. He's gone from being legend killer to legend. Yeah.
But the real legends are the people that put over the younger talent coming through.
And he's never been afraid to do that.
Yeah, for a little...
Well, all right, sorry, let me rephrase that. In recent years...
Yes.
in recent years, he's never been afraid to do that.
In recent years, he has changed.
Yeah.
He's changed. He had a lot of growing ups to do.
Sorry. So I'm glad I retracted that and reworded it.
There was a lot of stories about Randy Orton from the past.
If you remember...
Can we just mention the word stupid?
Yeah. if you remember, it was actually an angle used in the McIntyre feud. Do you remember the promo McIntyre where he said, "You didn't help me, you bastard," and all that?
Glad I changed my statement.
Yeah, and it's great.
Well done, Randy.
But yeah, back to Demolition.
It's up to you, John. I've got nothing more to say. I mean, apart from... I'm a massive fan of Bill Eadie after looking into his career. Yeah. If you want to say anything about Barry Darcy, feel free.
Yeah, there's a couple of little bits. I was a big fan of Demolition. I loved them. They were a great tag team, and people compared them to Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, a lot.
Yeah.
Some people would say that Demolition were a rip-off of the Legion of Doom, and for a time I felt the same. But I felt Demolition outgrew that and became better than the Legion of Doom.
So I can always remember Demolition before. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Legion of Doom. They were fantastic. But they Demolition, because of the face paint and the Mad Max kind of, Mad Max 2 era.
Yes.
Mad Max 2 era. Influence get up.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
that grabbed me more than spikes for a fucking shoulder pads.
Yeah. Before the Legion of Doom, they were obviously the Road Warriors in the NWA.
That's right.
And, that was kind of around the same sort of time and previous to Demolition as well. So I think that's where people were trying to compare the two.
Right.
And yeah, I felt Demolition had a great run. But when the Legion of Doom did sign with the WWF, I did feel like the WWF gave up on Demolition. They had the real deal now. Hawk and Animal, Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, and Demolition was sort of an afterthought. And they were pushed down the card. They were losing every match. Their music even changed.
Yeah.
There was no longer the singing. It was just a generic.
You got a merchandise factor for that as well.
Also, we have to factor in the emergence of Crush into Demolition.
Yeah, Crush come along.
Bill Eadie went to Japan.
Yeah.
Decided to have some shellfish, I think it was, and got really almost fatally ill.
Really?
Yes, and that was the end of him. That's why Crush come in. That is why.
I never knew that.
Yep, absolutely. That is why. He went there, and I'll tell you why he went to Japan. Fuck knows, mate. I think he had a shellfish allergy or a fish allergy.
Right, okay.
And he never properly recovered from it, and he had massive illnesses.
Fuck me. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm an ex-chef anyway. But
yeah.
Fucking hell, that must have been a... Fuck, wow.
Yeah, well, my source for that is Bruce Pritchard. So,
fair play.
That was the reason, apparently. And he actually went there for Andre. They were such good friends.
Fair play.
He went to Japan for Andre to do some sort of commemorative tribute or something like that for Andre. Went there, had some fish, never recovered. Shit. He became like the manager, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And he never really got involved again. And I did hear that he was going to start working behind the scenes in WWF.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out and he quit, which just left Smash and Crush. I think they went together for a little while until they were split up. And then it was kind of like the end of it all was... I think it was Crush fight. Well, Crush turned into Kona Crush.
Oh God!
Smash turned into the Repo Man.
Yeah.
And the end was. I actually like the Repo Man.
I think everyone does. I've got a soft spot
I used him as a thumbnail. I'm pretty sure I used him for the thumbnail for the whole gimmicks. Oh God! Fuck me, that tied in nicely.
Tell you what, it was better than some of the 1995 ideas. To be fair.
Yeah, definitely.
He had a fucking... What I never got is, guys, why do you have a fucking tyre streak across him? As if he'd been run over.
Yeah.
Because he's a repo man, but he had, like, the sort of hamburglar from McDonald's, eye
He was a
mask.
repo man, obviously being, repossession and whatnot. Why the fuck was he dressed up like a cat burglar?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had a fucking tow rope.
It makes no fucking sense.
He had a tow rope.
I was going to say, it was a tow rope with a shit hook on the end of it.
Yeah,
that was it.
And he used to sneak about. Like a thief.
He stole Randy Savage's hat on an episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually a fucking fuse.
I don't know.
And then Ted DiBiase kept hiring him. I think he stole the $1 million belt off of Virgil once.
Probably. I think he did, yeah. I think so, yeah. But, literally the end was when them two, Crush and Repo Man, had a match at SummerSlam 92 at Wembley Stadium, sorry. And
I remember.
it was kind of, that was the end. And nowadays, I do feel like people have forgot about Demolition. No one remembers them.
Yeah, and it's sad.
They've never been mentioned again. Smash went on to become, we went into WCW as Barry Darso. I think he was a Black Top Bully as well. Axe obviously was ill. He didn't really do much else. Crush probably had the longest career out of everyone. He was Kona Crush. He was Jailbird Crush.
Let's be honest. He had the potential to be on this list.
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Because he could have been a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Crush.
Yep.
He should have done a lot more than he did.
His career went straight up to 2001 where he was part of Chronic. And he came back over to WWF and had the feud with Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah, me and Stu have had a little chat about that. But you'll find out why. Okay, so that's both of ours.
Yes.
All right, back to me
please, guys. These guys will tell you, as they walked in earlier, I was actually watching a Demolition match. I was watching the match from WrestleMania 5 with the Powers of Pain. And their whole presentation is everything to them, similar to the Warrior. Yeah. It's stunning. Please go back and watch them. They deserve it.
They did have some great matches.
Yeah.
Right. My second pick.
Okay.
My second pick, I've gone for a tag team, which is the British Bulldogs.
Okay.
Okay.
We continue on with the golden era of tag teams.
We all know Davey Boy Smith.
Yep.
He's already in there.
Yep. Last year, wasn't it? Or the year before he went in?
I think it was the year before.
Yeah. He went in during the pandemic, didn't he? And it felt like an anticlimax for everyone who went in.
Yeah, that's right.
There was no crowds. I don't even think they did an event, did they, probably?
No, I think it was just like online announcements. That was pretty much it. And a few little promo videos on YouTube.
Yeah, it was a shame, really, because he deserved a bigger...
Yeah, big time.
He was one of those guys that you always wondered why he wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got... well, what can you say? His tag partner. Dynamite Kid.
Well, Dynamite is an innovator. Dynamite is one of the greatest in-ring technicians ever. The person who we talked about before, Chris Benoit, modelled himself after him.
Yeah, massively.
Basically the same person.
Well, hence
pretty much. I mean, I'm really sorry because I should remember his real name. I think it's Bill.
Tom Billington.
Tom Billington. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm so glad you're here for that sort of thing. I'm
surrounded by Google and Wikipedia.
Yes.
I mean, in the Canadian territory, Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, he was having matches with Bret Hart that were off the charts.
Even matches with Davey Boy back then.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
They had from what I can remember reading about, they had a massive, massive feud that went on for a long, long period of time, you know.
The problem with Tom was that he was a bully.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's well known. Every single wrestler will tell you that. I don't know if you've heard the story about with the Rougeos.
Yes, I'm just thinking that as you mentioned it.
Shock was always a bit mouthy, but Raymond was apparently a real stand-up guy, and Raymond socked him one, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he had a sock full of quarters or something.
It might have been Shock who did it, actually, because you said that, But the problem was everyone was saying to him, don't fuck with Ray. Because you know Ray Rougeau, he looks like a small guy. Do you remember Ray Rougeau?
The little moustache, didn't he?
But he used to be an announcer for a little while.
Yeah.
But apparently he was a legit fucking hard bastard. And he was winding him up. I heard the story that Ray was injured and he was going, anytime you want to try it and all this sort of stuff. He was not a nice guy backstage.
Always the ways of don't fuck with the quiet ones.
Yeah, and everyone was saying, don't fuck with him.
I think it was around SummerSlam 88, because I think they had the opening match, which went to a time limit draw. And I think it was sort of around that sort of time that it all kind of happened.
Yes, it was. Because I'm trying to think like you, and I'm remembering Survivor Series maybe 88 being their last pay-per-view. Could I be wrong?
I
It was the
think,
10
no, I
team.
think you're right.
It was absolutely ridiculous. They would do a Survivor Series and they would have tag teams and everyone was around the ring and you
Yes.
couldn't even see what was going
That's
on.
right, yeah. The 10 teams against 10 teams. The 20-man tag.
Yeah, and they'd all be around the edge of the fucking ring.
Yeah. I mean, the main reason why I picked these two is I think they were, again, as we spoke about previously with Demolition, is that golden era of tag team wrestling. It's brilliant. They were fantastic together. Absolutely fantastic together. But I'm going to keep this shorter than my previous one. There were obviously allegations of, physical abuse, domestic abuse within his personal life. And unfortunately, I think that's, again, much like my previous pick, is the reason I don't think they're ever going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I mention he's a bully, because I've heard certain stories about women. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I know that he never, ever forgave WWF after the back injury. Also, he never forgave Davey.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. He got paralysed, didn't he, in the ring?
Did, yeah.
But the thing is, he carried on wrestling. Even though he was paralysed and he'd broken his back, he still carried on.
Yeah.
And I remember, this must have been about 10, 15 years after, I think. There's a match with him in Japan and he goes back there and he looks nothing like he did before.
Yeah.
And he's still paralysed, but he's in the ring and he's still wrestling. And he's small, he's tiny, and there's nothing left of him. But
did he have a beard at the time as well, or a moustache?
I think so.
Because he started to grow a moustache and it didn't look like Tom Billington anymore.
That's right, yeah. But they did have some great matches. Like thinking back to the British Bulldogs against the Dream Team of Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah. Was that at WrestleMania 2?
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
Do you know what's really annoying, right? I'm just going to say, just for our listeners' understanding, I spent a long, long time writing a lot of notes about this category, and that is named in it, and I left my fucking notes at home, and I'm genuinely gutted, but that was one of the biggest points, and I've watched that match 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
It's a great match.
Yeah, it's a great match.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And just moving on from Demolition, I believe that at one point the British Bulldogs either won the title.
They won them from, I'm thinking, they either won them from the Hart Foundation or they lost them to the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
but
it was lost.
Did they lose them to the Hart Foundation?
Yeah.
I thought Demolition were involved with the Bulldogs at one point.
They did have a couple of matches, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. They did.
I
sort
don't
of
know.
cross
I
over,
think you're right. I think it was probably the Hearts that had a lot to do with each other.
Yeah.
But
even the Bulldogs, they did have some matches with the Moondogs going back to the Demolition.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna end that one there on mine.
Yeah, because me and Johnny will just go on.
Didn't they have Ozzy Osbourne in their corner one time?
Yes,
as well?
That was the
Bulldogs.
Dream Team.
And apparently that is Ozzy Osbourne's most favourite moment of his life. He still talks about it today. That he was in the corner of the Bulldogs at WrestleMania.
I've also heard he was absolutely off his tits.
Yeah.
Which I will. Have you watched the match recently?
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
his eyes are just so fucking wide. Fair play.
And he was in the Hall of Fame a couple of years back as well, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah.
Which will lead nicely on to my my last pick in a few moments.
Okay, so who's next?
Well, you two both had Demolition, so
Oh, right, yeah.
so
I
I think it
mind.
goes back.
Do you want me to go?
I don't mind, to be honest.
I'll go. I'll finish
go
off
for them.
because mine actually does. There is an element to Demolition with mine because this guy really was the soundtrack of most of our childhoods. It's Jim Johnston. Jim Johnston.
Yeah.
All of those themes and all of that emotion from the music that you hear is from the mind of one person, and it's from Jim Johnston.
He is a perfect comparison, which I mentioned to you last time I was round here, James. A few weeks back, I went to go and see the film composer with my other half, Hans Zimmer, live. Jim Johnston is the Hans Zimmer of the wrestling world.
Absolutely. There's no one even close.
No.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of entrance musics,
Now,
promo
everyone,
musics.
everybody.
Except Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart did a few
He
people.
did, yes, yeah.
Because he had a music background. Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, you're right. It was something to do with producing. I think it was, wasn't it?
I don't know if he was in a band.
I think he was in a band, and he actually released a few albums.
Yeah, because they got to number 6 in the US chart. I remember this, and that's why he had the gimmick. You know,
But he explains all the musical notes on his jackets.
They were called, I think it was called Jimmy Hart and the Wrestling Travelling Band.
I can't
Something
remember.
like that, yeah.
I can't remember. But most of them...
I'm so having a look for that on Spotify later.
Go for it. But Jim Johnston, I mean, I listened to him. I can't remember the name, and I feel bad because this guy managed to get an interview with him. He's a very quiet, sort of inward guy who doesn't do a lot of interviews. I think it's Chris Van Willett.
Chris Van Fleet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. He managed to get an interview with him, and he asked him to play him out with a song, and he played just on the piano. He played Taker's music, and it was beautiful.
Wow.
You know, do you remember those like Undertaker vignettes you used to see when they were sad and they'd just play the piano music?
Yeah.
It was like him just sitting there doing that.
Nice.
And it was spot on. And it was like, wow. I mean, Ultimate Warrior's music. It's a whole gimmick. So Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
He did everyone, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to go in.
Yeah.
And it was one of the listeners on the Facebook page who actually picked him as well.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Yeah. Fair play.
Well done, Jim.
Yeah, well done. I did have that before, though. I will say that because Stu can verify that.
That's true. That's true.
I actually picked mine the night you give them out because I put them in there to Stu, but they have changed.
I did, and they changed about 10 times.
Which could lead me on to a slight rant here, and I will keep this short, not like the Logan Paul one I did on the last episode. When you announced this topic, Johnny, I'd my first pick for a tag team to go into the Hall of Fame, because I didn't, never in a million years would I ever imagine Scott Steiner actually being inducted at the WWE Hall of Fame. That was my first pick. Fucking hour later, and then he get fucking inducted.
It's gutting.
I was furious.
It's gutting when that happens.
Absolute fuck you, Vince.
It's
Ruined
gutting.
that.
But we love you guys in the fan base, but when you guys pick the ones that we've already been researching, we like, because it can come up like a week before and someone will pick it and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But it's all good.
That's good. Yeah, it shows everyone's got common interest and knowledge of it.
Here, I think for episode 3, pick 75% of my list in one post. WrestleMania 8, Lex Luger. There was another one you picked.
There was something else as well.
Rock and Austin.
He picked 17 as well, didn't he?
That's it, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, I had them all on there. He had basically my whole list.
It was alright for me. I was just sat there going, nope, you ain't got mine. I'm fine.
Because I was laughing with him actually right underneath. My pick 2. My pick 2. My pick 2.
Oh, fucking hell. So I'm in absolute agreement with Jim Johnson.
I don't think there's much to be said. I think the guy, wrestling is an emotional thing, and also the music is so important, the presentation.
Yeah.
And this guy is the guy who, like I said, and I think that's the best way I can sum it up.
Yeah.
He's the soundtrack of most of our childhoods.
Yeah, massively.
And it's a shame because the music nowadays, even though some of it's good, a lot of it isn't.
Very generic.
Yeah.
I think, what are they called? CS...
COF $, isn't it?
Before they had a falling out with WWE, they were making some quite good ones. They made Glorious, didn't they? I think they made Shinsuke Nakamura's.
Oh, I love that.
I think you'll find they did, because they had an argument. The Keith Lee music was changed because they had an argument with them, and it was theirs. It was theirs.
Right, I see. Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, because everyone was blaming WWE, but it wasn't WWE. It's because they were having an argument with them.
Ah, okay.
And they had to change it.
I see.
Yeah. So I felt that there was one time where I felt sorry for WWE because I knew what it was about. No one was going, why are you fucking changing his music? Why are you doing that? It was a legal issue.
Right, fair enough.
I had to change it.
Fair dues. Right.
Okay.
Which then, comes back to my final pick. And again...
Did you want to do your one?
Oh, no, sorry, mate.
No, sorry,
You've still got one.
I've still got one left.
Oh, shit. Sorry, mate. Go for it.
I couldn't remember who had one.
Sorry,
left.
man.
No, so you can do yours first if you want. Or...
No, go for it. You're the guest.
Sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay.
Mine's real short and sweet anyway.
Okay, my final pick is the Ugandan giant, Kamala.
That is a fantastic pick, John.
Nice pick.
So, he hailed from the jungles of Uganda.
From the dark continent of Africa.
Yes. And I'm going to shock you here.
So bad. You can't fucking say that. That's so bad.
Harvey Whippleman used to fucking call that out in the. Can you remember? He used to go from the dark continent of Africa.
He did, yeah.
Here's Kamala. He did.
So fucking bad.
Yeah, you can never get away with it these
No,
days.
but that's
It's much the same as getting a Hawaiian guy as a fucking Japanese sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what is fucking interesting, because I heard that they'd edited, this is going to be small, this is not going to be a tangent, this is Hulk Hogan, right? It's not going to be a tangent. Do you remember WrestleMania 9?
Can we please keep referring to him as Thunder Lips?
Yeah. Do you remember WrestleMania 9? He did a promo before the Bret and Yokozuna match, and he said, whoever wins this, whether it be Bret or the Jap.
Yeah,
do you remember?
I remember this.
That's still on the network.
Oh, wow, I'm surprised they haven't taken that off.
Yeah, I watched it the other day and I thought they would take that off, and they haven't. He goes, I want the next shot. But yeah, he goes, the Jap.
Jesus Christ.
I remember that as well.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. So
That's it. That's
so far tonight, we've had blatant racism within the WWF and homophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's... Oh,
But that's Vince all over, isn't it? You
Oh
could see
my
Vince
God.
coming up for all that shit.
Oh,
if
bearing in
Vince
mind,
could
this
get
is
away
the-
with it now, he'd do all that.
This is the same
Yeah.
guy that had the creative idea of the Kiss My Ass Club. So, you know.
Yeah, but I thought that was funny. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I remember one time when he had an Arshall.
degrading.
Do you remember when he had an Arshall on Raw? One time he was I can't remember who was gonna kiss his ass, but obviously I think it's Triple H, and he was having his ass buffed. They weren't showing anything, but he was going, I'm getting an Arshall, and it was funny. I'm sorry.
I do remember that, yeah.
I won't lie, I turned off a lot during that period of time.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of this.
It was fucking great.
I remember William Regal having to do it, but the good thing was I remember his reactions, his facials he was doing.
Oh,
Which is
he's
the
king of
best
the
part
cell.
it. Yeah.
He is
no.
an absolute selling god.
No, Vince was a genius in that as well, because he was doing his arse cheeks where he was going, my ass can do tricks,
that's
and
right.
doing all this.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
funny.
Oh, no. No.
I do remember that, yeah. I try and block it out, but I still remember it.
Oh, God.
It was fucking
Are you
great.
shitting me?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
did that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Where'd you start?
Oh, well, fuck me, there's a topic.
Yeah.
I must be twisted
God.
as fuck. I thought that was great.
You're on your own there, I think.
Yeah.
Genuinely feel a bit sick.
Right.
I bet I'm not the
Anyway,
only one.
yeah.
I bet there's
Oh,
some people in
God.
the group who fucking like
It
that.
probably is, yeah. Yeah, I won't be surprised.
And if there is, I'm fucking judging you right now.
I'm not. You're all fucking great.
Oh,
Right, okay. So back to Kamala.
good luck topping that.
So he was the Ugandan giant. I'll just stop it there. God.
Be serious, boys. Be serious.
So I didn't really like Kamala. I'm going to leave that there.
What the fuck have you picked him?
Well, I didn't mind Kamala, the older version of Kamala.
Yeah.
It was later on. I couldn't stand him.
Right.
But I'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, he wrestled all over the world. I think he first debuted back in 1978. And
Oh, shit.
he had like a run in CWA, the Mid-South, World Class, AWA, USWA, NWA, all over the place.
Fucking hell, man.
Dude.
He even
Never knew
in
that.
the early 80s, he had a small run in WWF, and one of the big matches he had was, I think it was against Sergeant Slaughter, and it was a boot camp cage match.
I remember
What the
this.
fuck?
I remember this.
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure if you can probably find it on YouTube or somewhere. It's
I've
definitely
seen
out there
it. It's on
somewhere.
the
Is it really?
network. Yeah.
Oh, fuck me, my own. That's red. Oh my god, I'm gonna sleep for days.
He come back just quickly. Do you remember when he come back? Because I know we're all laughing. Do you remember when he come back with in WCW Kevin Sullivan? It was fucking awful.
Dungeon of Doom.
Never saw that.
Dungeon of Doom.
Around 95 sort of time, he sort of came around then. But yeah, it was a terrible time. It was a terrible time.
If we're talking
used to have in ECW, used to have on purpose. You remember when he was doing the thing where he said Eric Bischoff was a genius and all that shit and the god?
Yeah.
He had a picture of the Dungeon of Doom on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because it was so shit.
Was this right? Right. It was a white tee.
Sorry, John.
It was
that's
a
what
white.
we're like.
It was a. Is this a white t-shirt?
Yes.
Right. I've seen that. I wondered what the fuck that was.
He's got a picture of Eric on one side. He's got the Dungeon of Doom on the other. Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the worst things they ever did.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
Oh, mate.
So he had the short run in WWF at the time. He then went and had a few matches with Harley Race in the NWA.
Lovely.
Nice.
But then it was quite interesting. He came over to the UK in 1981 and actually wrestled for World of Sport. And he had a big match with Wayne Bridges, who was sort of a big UK name at the time. And they had a big match at Wembley Arena. And at this time, he wasn't Kamala. It was the early days of Kamala. He was going by the name of the Mississippi Mauler, who was a very, very early version of Kamala.
Shit.
And he came back to America after that. And then is when it started showing the promos, the vignettes for Kamala coming to the WWF. And this is I've thought about this a few times, right? So he's with Kimchi. He's got all this war paint on. He's got a spear. He's got a shield. He's basically like he lives on this jungle. He's like a cannibal. Like he's never left this country. Yeah. He doesn't. He's got his own tribe, and he doesn't know anything out of this country at all. And he's coming to the WWF.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I can't stop shaking my head.
It's fucking great. Can you imagine the negotiations?
Yeah, this is what I like. This is the part I want to know about.
Yeah.
It's like, how did Kimchi persuade this man, this cannibal, this man who wore like a cloth around him and that was it, to get on an airplane, come to America, have this meeting with Vince McMahon and persuade him to join the WWF? That's the part that I want to see. That was left out.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Think of the stories
similar to fucking Umaga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Umaga, do you remember WrestleMania 23, Umaga and when Vince was in his corner and they did the ceremony and all that shit? Like they do that like hand down and then side to side. And Vince was doing it and all this shit. How the fuck did the negotiations for money happen? Did they just do that?
I'm glad you've mentioned Umaga. Simone Spike. What the fuck was that all about?
Oh, I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
Let's not tangent off.
It's a thumb in the throat. Fuck off.
Well, it's illegal, isn't it, first of all? Well, you can't hit people in the throat in WWE. It's supposed to be rules, isn't there?
Yeah. It's the handbook.
It's a fucking...
I'd love to see that handbook one.
I'd
reckon it's on the back of a piece of toilet roll and it's been used. Where's the contract? It's that shit smear.
I mean, fuck me, that rule book's changed so many times. You remember when Michaels actually put his foot on the fucking floor in the Royal Rumble and they had one of his feet touch the floor? That was never a fucking rule. That was never a fucking rule. That's because they caught it on camera. It's like the Kofi thing, isn't it? When he jumped off... When he jumped off, the bit on the side has like some padding on it, and it had too much padding on it, and his feet hit the fucking floor.
You could hear it,
and the camera caught it. And they were going, no, he's safe on the commentary.
Do you reckon those two cameramen got sacked straight away? I fucking told you to be round the other side.
Fuck knows, but it was obvious. Kevin Owens didn't help, he was shouting it out when he was going to touch the floor. And I was thinking he must...
Good old Kev.
Nah, carry on. We like to go on tangents. We do apologise, everybody. We do apologise. This is just like you guys, just sitting around having a good laugh, and that is what we do.
That's what it's all about. We're all here for the same reason.
We are on Kamala.
Love for
can I just say something about Kamala? Kamala, when he first come into the USA... and he was in the territories, they built... You are?
He didn't have his passport.
Yep.
He'd left it home.
Left it in the jungle.
Yeah. He probably kept it in his loincloth. But...
God, I bet that smelled.
Yeah, fuck me. But when he first come into the territories, they used to let him loose like he was a cannibal. Like he was... Like like Johnny said, and the crowd actually fell for it, and they used to run away from him. He used to get out of the ring and like run to jump into like the crowd, and they used to all get up, and there used to be like almost a riot in the crowd where they'd all try and run away. They honestly thought that he was a cannibal from Africa who was uncontrollable, who they'd let out of a cage.
Who's coming to eat everyone?
Yeah.
How good an actor have you got to be?
Look at that. The guy
to
who
sell
played,
that.
yeah, the guy who played him was an American.
Yeah. Oh no, I you know.
Yeah, but
I know.
You know, he was just a normal American. Yeah, but you imagine how hard that is as an American to pull that off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're jumping out the ring and everyone's running away and shit and all this. Yeah, there was riots. Kids would cry and
Jesus.
fucking
Dear. So yeah, he came in after having this meeting with Vince McMahon, after being persuaded to
They
become
went through
a
the rule
professional
book.
wrestler. Yeah, sat down, tried to understand it.
no Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Yeah, he had a great run with Hogan. He was drawing big money every night, especially for Hogan. You know, they were selling out Madison Square Garden. And I'm going to get back to this again shortly because it's not a great ending for Kamala. So he leaves again, but then 92 comes around and sort of WWF has changed. It's more cartoony. And he comes back and he's managed by Dr. Harvey Whippleman and Kimchi again. And he goes into the feud with The Undertaker. They have the match at SummerSlam 92 in Wembley, where The Undertaker comes out with the hearse. And then they have the casket match at the Survivor Series. And even though the match probably isn't great, because I haven't seen it for many years, but I remember him selling it, being afraid of the casket and being terrified. And
sorry, John.
It's all right. I can see you laughing.
No, I'm only laughing because there was a vignette afterwards, and anyone who had the video, I'm sure you remember it. They opened the casket with a crowbar, and he did this sell job where he was shaking.
Yes,
and it's really funny. I'm sorry.
Remember this.
Yeah.
I did love Kamala at this point. He was really selling it really well. He was terrified, The Undertaker. And then he kind of. This is when I didn't like Kamala. This is when it changed for me. Okay,
I know where you go.
He became a babyface, and he saw the light. Now you had Slick, who was this doctor of soul and doctor of jive, and he was this manager of like the Twin Towers.
Come back as a priest,
and he was a born again like a reverend. He'd seen the light.
It's like a street preacher.
Yeah. And he got Kamala, and he helped Kamala see the light, and it was just.
Did this fucking really happen?
Yes.
Kamala, it was terrible.
It was awful. It was like Kamala, throughout all the times with Kimchi, knew how to pin someone. Then suddenly, Kamala had lost all function in the ring of what to do.
He didn't know how to pin someone.
Yeah, and he would pin them with their belly down. Like, if they're lying this way.
Yeah. Face down?
Yeah, face down. So they were on their back and he'd pin them. And Slick would go, no, and then someone would roll him up.
Yeah, he was terrible. Even Slick tried to get him to wear boots at one point. It was terrible. And there's one thing on one of the Coliseum video releases of, I think it was a Bashed in the USA event. Slick is trying to teach Kamala how to bowl and get a strike. And it's just...
Oh, fuck.
It's throughout the whole video. They keep going back to this. And they're trying to teach him. And Kamala's meant to be this monster, this cannibal from these jungles. And now he's trying to learn how to bowl and get a strike. It was terrible.
Jesus Christ.
And
there's definitely been some fucking misses in that company, isn't there?
God.
It was a mess. And then I think he hung around for, I think it was 94, I think he stayed till. I think he had a brief feud with Kimchi, but kind of never really went anywhere. And then went on to WCW, joined the Dungeon of Doom. I think he had a match with Hogan at one of the Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, I think he did.
And yeah, that was kind of it for that time. He spent a lot of time in Memphis in the USWA with Jerry Lawler.
Yes.
He'd appear every now and then. Like one time was WrestleMania 17 in the Gimmick Battle Royal. and he did the things with William Regal up on the table.
It's classic. He had the Queen. He had the picture of the Queen in his hands, and he was rubbing his tummy.
Yes, which was great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, which was absolutely
Brilliant.
Regal was going, "No, not Her Majesty." No,
it was fantastic. And then he came back again. I think he had a match with Randy Orton on SmackDown a few years later.
I can't remember that, Johnny.
And there's a match actually which I didn't know about until a little while ago. But in 2010, he appeared in Ring of Honor and had a match with Bryan Danielson.
I need to see this. I need to see
I don't think it's a long match, but I came across it a little while ago. I thought I'd never seen this before.
Wow.
Didn't Kamala in the end lose his leg?
He did. I'm going to get to that. He actually went to back to Memphis and spent a lot of time there. And in the early 2000s, he sort of reinvented himself a little bit. He could actually talk English, and he became a singer. And he released like 3 albums as Kamala. There's all this stuff on YouTube. You can look it up.
You're making me laugh, Johnny. I'm sorry, mate.
I'll put some of this on the page.
So fucking glad you agreed to come on here, man.
Yeah, you're making me laugh, mate.
God.
This is unreal, some of this stuff. I didn't even know about some of this shit.
He actually did, I think, a feud with Jerry Lawler at the time. I think it was about 2000, probably even around the time that he was in the Gimmick Battle Royal. And he's singing these songs, and I think one time he's mimicking it, and he gets attacked, and the music's still playing. But he does release 3 albums: the Best of Kamala, Volume 1, 2, and 3.
I need to get these.
Oh Jesus!
Should we leave it there, John? I think we know enough about Kamala now. Because I'm not being funny, you're popping the audience here, because we're actually laughing, guys. We can't help but laugh at some of this.
It was great. Yeah, it was great for Kamala. It didn't end well for him, and
sad.
There was a lot. He didn't have any money left at the end of his career, which was quite sad. If you go back to the Undertaker feud, it's rumoured that The Undertaker made $50,000 for his SummerSlam match. Kamala only made 13.
Yeah, it's harsh. Wow. Kamala was a big name.
Yeah.
Throughout you said, throughout the territories and things like that, he was a big name. He was similar to an Abdullah the Butcher or Brody.
Yeah.
You know, he was that sort of character. He was someone who you brought in for a short time to have a feud with your main baby face, and he was like a monster. Supposed to be scary.
It was, sad what happened in the end. He did have, he did lose both of his legs, and then he was living in a shed basically. And I remember reading that Chris Jericho actually donated $5,000 to try and help him out.
Good boy.
Good boy.
But he didn't end well, and he sadly passed away.
Shame. I agree with you with Kamala. I think he 100% needs to go in.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's, along with some of ours, I think it's ludicrous that some of these people are not already in.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So that's the end of this topic. Is it?
Whoa.
Is that
Have you got another one?
One last one to go.
God.
And I'm going out with an absolute fucking belter. Lemmy.
Of course.
Motorhead.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Lemmy is, fucking shame on you. If you don't know who Motorhead are, fucking shame on you. I mean, the 3 theme tunes that he's done, obviously, The Game, Evolution, and The King of Kings.
Yep.
I'm a massive Motorhead fan anyway. They're one of the greatest bands to ever come out of Britain of all time.
Yep.
And the fact that they got Lemmy and Motorhead, to do those 3 songs, just is an absolute fucking credit to him.
He did actually make a few appearances, didn't he, at WrestleMania?
Yes. It was, I'll tell you the WrestleManias it was, Johnny. It was 17.
Yes.
With The Undertaker.
That's right, yeah.
And it was 21 before the Batista match.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the better performance for me was 21. You like 17?
I like 17 as
I like 17.
Yeah.
I liked his performance in 21.
Oh my God. I'm not going into a tangent on this one. I'm not doing it. I'm not rising to the bait.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's fine.
We both are fans.
Oh, massively.
We both love absolutely in concurring that he definitely deserves to go in the celebrity wing.
Yeah.
Compared
to some of the celebrities that are in
They put fucking Donald Trump in, for fuck's sake.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember him fucking going in, To be fair, he did host 2 WrestleManias.
He did 4 and 5, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, the one we were watching earlier. He's in the front row.
Couldn't give a fucking shit.
No.
Sorry. Keeping politics out of this bollocks. But
I
Lemmy needs to be in
you can't
there.
do politics on YouTube.
No,
I don't know. It might be
religion you can't.
Let's veto that bit out.
Because one of mine was going to be Brother Love and I left it.
But yeah, that's all I need to say about that is Lemmy.
Yeah, I think we know about the Triple H relationship with Lemmy. They were near enough best friends, if not they were.
He did part of his eulogy at Lemmy's funeral as well.
Yes.
Phenomenal story there about him opening the door with a towel and a couple of naked women in there, while Triple H was stood there with his wife and kids. Closed the door, opened it again. 3 minutes later, he was fully clothed and the women were gone.
There is actually an acoustic set with Lemmy. I think it might have been a bonus feature for one of the WrestleManias, and he's in the back in the locker room, and Triple H is with him while he's playing.
Absolutely right.
Yes, it's on. It's one of the. It's on the extras of WrestleMania 21, which is probably why I favoured that, because there was that bit in the locker room afterwards with them doing it, weren't there?
That's right. Yes.
They were doing the. I think they were doing the acoustic version of the game, weren't they? In the back.
I think they were. Yeah.
You're absolutely spot on, mate. Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of why I favoured 21, because there was that little bit in the extras beside the DVD, and it showed the relationship between the band and Triple H, and they were in the locker room.
Yeah.
And it's really class, because Triple H actually lost that match.
Yeah.
But you have that little bit at the end, and you can see there's a closeness there. There's no doubt about that, and it's really nice. Yeah.
I mean, just one final last thing I'm going to say about Lemmy. Have either of you ever watched the film Airheads?
Yes, great film.
There is a quote, if you haven't seen it, James, watch it. Lemmy is name dropped in the film and then turns up in the film himself. Now, the name drop is, you've got the 3 members of the Lone Rangers. Fucking best film band of all time. Well, sorry, second, apart from Spinal Tap. They get a record producer, or it's a fake record producer. It's a copper, and it's the late great Harold Ramis, Egon Spangler, who's playing him.
I love him.
So he turns up at the door and he wants to offer this band that are holding people hostage a record deal. And the deciding question comes from Steve Buscemi: who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God? And he stutters, going, Lemmy. No, God. No, Lemmy. And then Steve Buscemi just goes, trick question. Lemmy is God.
You told me that story last week.
I did.
Yeah.
Fucking love Lemmy.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Film,
that's
okay, so I think that's all of us on
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
the Hall of Fame topic. Okay.
Right. So our next topic that we're going to talk about is we're going to have a little tribute to recently passed away Scott Hall. An absolute icon, a true legend. Either as you want to call him, Scott Hall or Razor Ramon, as a lot of people.
Studs,
yeah, fuckers beat me to that one. One of the most charismatic performers of all time. Just all he had to say was, "Who wants to do the impression?"
But all together.
Hey yo.
That's all you had to do, man, and the entire room would just erupt. 2 words, man. What can you say?
He had some great matches over the years.
Yeah.
Like, he wrestled everywhere. Like, even going back to the AWA.
Cowboy Scott Hall, pal, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Wrestle Rock, done the music video, which is hilarious watching it now. He had the run in WCW, the Diamond Stud, with DDP.
Yep.
Even his promos, vignettes when he came to the WWF, and he's got this accent, and he's just talking, and he's sitting by the pool, and he's just better than everybody else, and he's coming across like Scarface.
Tony Montana. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
Interesting note there. Does anyone realise that Vince hadn't even seen Scarface?
I heard that.
He didn't even know what it was.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I did hear that.
Yeah. Oh, shame on you.
Another interesting fact, though, Scott Hall, he only ever had one main event match at a pay-per-view, ever.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Johnny, this is a WCW event, isn't it?
Well, he had the match with Razor Razor had the match with Brett at the Rumble 93 for the title. But yeah, there was I think it was just mainly tag matches I think he had in WCW from what I remember.
No, he had a world title match.
Oh, okay.
Against Sting.
Oh, did he?
He won World War III.
Did he really?
Oh, he did, yeah. I knew he won the World War III.
Yeah, he went on to face Sting. I don't think it was... obviously, to me, it's main event because I always say the title's main event.
Yeah.
I think it was second on.
Oh,
and that was his only title shot.
Right.
I think it was about 97.
I think
you have to check that.
I think it might have been 97, 98.
But he did win World War III for a title shot, and it happened. I think it happened at Super Brawl. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Sorry.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I knew he'd won the World War III, but I didn't realise he'd gone on.
Yeah,
to
that was his only world title shot in WCW, like of merit. A big pay-per-view type thing.
Yeah.
Because he was always the outsiders, and
that's it. Always the tag matches.
Really, Nash was always seen as the bigger person. Which I like Kevin Nash, but Scott Hall for me was the better wrestler.
He was the
character.
charismatic one out of a lot of them.
I always remember back in the early days of Monday Night Raw, Razor would come out and he was the heel, but the crowd was just cheering for him.
Loved him.
He was cool.
I absolutely loved him.
He had that twice. He had that with the NWA.
Yeah.
And he had it with Razor Ramon. I'm similar to you. I remember that, and I remember him facing Backlund at WrestleMania 9, and the crowd shitting on Backlund and cheering Razor.
Yeah.
It was a terrible match. He rolled Backlund up, didn't he?
It was terrible.
Yeah, I don't think they got on because it didn't look like they got on. It looked like they just wanted to get out of there.
It wasn't a great match. No,
it was about 2 minutes long.
Wow.
It was awful, and even the roll up was shit. But he just got out of the ring, and I think he threw his toothpick at him still. I think he still had it in his mouth.
He just walked off, didn't he, in the end?
Yeah, he basically mocked Backlund all the way up the aisle. Like going, I caught you like that. I don't think Backlund wanted to lose or something.
All right.
There was something going on.
It's not a great match. It's not worth it.
It's not worth watching, but there I'm sure I heard there was some heat there, and it comes across on screen.
Right. Holy shit.
I see.
Yeah.
He had the great, he put the 1-2-3 kid over as well. The Raw matches.
That was fantastic, lovely creative
that
stuff.
Is, I know obviously the main reason we were doing this is to talk about some of our favourite moments of the man's great career. That is the one that's always going to stick in my mind.
It was a great moment,
it was a lovely moment.
And then Razor's trying to chase after him for the next few weeks, trying to get his rematch.
Yeah.
And he's trying to offer him more money each time. Then in the end, the kid runs away with the bag. And gets in the car.
Have you heard the story about that, Johnny, where he was knocked out? The kid was knocked out. That wasn't supposed to be the end.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah, basically what happened was the kid was supposed to roll him up again, but if you go back and watch the match, he slips off the top rope. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
He was knocked out, and Razor had to guide him through it. And what they did was he said, just grab the bag and run. So they couldn't carry on.
Shit.
Wow.
And that is what happens. Because it was live, it was on Raw, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
So they couldn't edit it, they had to do it. And
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Works out better, didn't it?
It does, It's actually quite good, yeah. He had the ladder matches with Shawn, WrestleMania 10, SummerSlam 95.
Yeah.
Now, I've always preferred the 95 one. I think everyone always says the WrestleMania 10 was the best one, but I think the SummerSlam one, they did more.
Yeah.
And they were a bit more innovative with some of the stuff they used.
I would agree with you. I'm a massive fan of Shawn Michaels, but I'm going to shit on him here. I thought he ruined it by the end. I know that the belt wouldn't come down, but he had a little padsy at the end and it ruined it for me.
He did, yes.
Right.
Because the belt got stuck up there and they couldn't get it down.
Yeah.
And they were trying to finish the match and he went to pull it down. He actually grabbed it and pulled it and it didn't come. And he started stamping in the ring. He started like going, bullshit like that. And he had to go back up there and get it.
Right.
Yeah, the belt, something happens where the belt wouldn't come down,
That's
didn't
right,
it?
I remember that now.
So yeah, I agree with you, but that put a little bit of a taint on it for me, because that sort of took me out of the moment of the match.
Yeah.
He could have done it a bit better.
No,
Okay.
I see, yeah. There's a great match on an episode of WWF Action Zone. I don't know if you remember. This was about 1994. I think it might have been the second episode they ever did. It's Razor and the 1-2-3 Kid against Shawn and Diesel.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing match. It's really great.
4 friends working in complete tandem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such a good match.
It's one of those matches now that everyone wants to see, because it wasn't easy to see back then, and you hear about it a lot, don't you? Yeah, I agree with you. It's really good.
Yeah, fair play.
Then he obviously had the Nitro debut coming out from the crowds.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
That's my main one.
That's
my main one. I
again,
think
it's a true testament to the character that he could play.
Yeah.
Regardless if it was,
he's the guy that's got to start it all, isn't he? He's the guy who's got to start that NWO, if you look back.
Absolutely.
And he hits a home run, and he comes in during a match.
Oh, he hits the ground running.
Right.
Yep. Does the promo, leaves the mystery there,
That's it.
and then goes.
Yeah.
So that's my memory there, Johnny. That's what I always remember him for.
Yeah, and he made a couple of appearances in ECW. Obviously went to TNA as well. And then there was the Hall of Fame. And sort of every now and then he'd kind of show up.
That was lovely speech.
Yeah.
That was the most powerful speech, because it was short.
Yeah.
He didn't have to go on for an hour.
No, it's been really nice seeing a lot of people.
People have been quoting it, haven't they?
Yeah, and not just current stars and ex-stars and Hall of Famers and those that should be in the Hall of Fame. Just the outpour of just absolute love for the guy is
everybody just
yeah.
I think that everyone has to remember as well. A lot of people get confused over Scott Hall's demons. He had mental health first and foremost instead of addiction. He had PTSD over the fact that he killed someone.
Yeah.
And he could never get over it. He had certain religious beliefs which told him that he was never ever going to be forgiven.
Yeah.
And he genuinely felt like that, and he never got over it.
No.
And there's a lot to the Scott Hall story, and when you listen to his peers, there's not many people who have got bad things to say about Scott.
No, that's it, yeah. Yeah, it's all positive.
I've seen quite recently is a couple of posts on social media and a few.
I saw the Scotty Too Hotty one, and I saw another one where someone said he'll never be the bad guy to me. I can't remember who it was. They said something along the lines of they were broke and he helped them and he went to pay it back. I can't remember who this person was, but he went on to be successful and he wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple of lovely ones that I remember reading from DDP.
Yeah.
Who,
that'll be my next memory, as I've told you.
Yeah.
So obviously they had the whole history together when Diamond Stud.
Massively.
DDP with him.
Yeah, massively. And I'm going to let James say his piece about this one.
Yeah, I'm sure that Johnny probably remembers DDP, he was helping Jake and he was helping Scott, and I was following along. Obviously, I've been a fan for a long time, and those guys have given their heart, soul and body for us in their craft.
Yep.
And they needed help. And there was an Indiegogo, and it's only a small amount I donated, but I felt a part of it. Scott Hall was struggling with, I think it was his shoulder, and he couldn't afford the surgery, or it might have been his shoulder or his hips. I know that was part of the complications, wasn't it, with what happened. I donated a little bit, and he went from strength to strength, and I was really happy to see that. And I got a lovely autographed picture, which I unfortunately lost, and I regret that. Yeah. It was lovely, it was personalised, and it was nice. Yeah. It was of him as an outsider, the NWO one. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Nice black and white one. But yeah, that's one of my memories. I just liked to see him get better. I think as fans, wrestling fans are very loyal.
Yeah.
And I think they root for people. Yeah. I think it's very different from any other
Especially if you've grown up watching that character as well.
Yeah.
Change over time.
You know, you see it when people come back or if they have struggles and they have to come out in the ring, the crowd are massively supportive
Absolutely.
of anybody. And I think Scott, he was a bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people thought he was an alcoholic, but I think you'll find it was PTSD and him wanting to die.
Yeah.
And that sounds awful, but...
PTSD is just, it's a awful condition that I think even now, it's... I don't know what to say. I mean, it's heartbreaking. You're probably the amount of millions of people around the world that genuinely suffer with it.
Have you ever seen the documentary that's on the network of Scott Hall?
Which one?
It's his documentary. It's just you know what they used to do years ago with the DVDs.
Yeah.
They do one for Scott,
right?
And at the end they try and take him back to the place where that happens. The shooting. He can't do it. He can't do it on screen. He bursts into tears, and then you realise what the issues are.
Yeah.
So they're not fake issues; they were real. And it's sad to watch.
I don't know if I could watch that.
No, it is sad. Yep. Yeah. But there you go. It's always gonna be a somber one. I mean, I think we all appreciated the work and we celebrate it, don't we?
It
was part of our childhoods, all of us.
Massively.
That's it. Yeah, we'll be watching him.
I know is it his son that's involved with the wrestling scene as well?
Cody, I think.
Yeah. Cody, I don't know what he went on to do.
He's over in Japan, I think.
Yeah, I heard a bit about him a while back. I don't know. This is the bald-headed lad, isn't it? He's got a skinhead.
That's right. Yeah.
He wears the
trunks
outsiders trousers.
Yeah.
Or the little shorts or whatever you call them.
All I just wanted to say, with regards to his son getting into the industry, good on you, man.
Yeah, he's been wrestling for a few years
now. He has.
Hopefully we'll
see.
He's
been about for a while now.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yep.
Good on you and good luck, mate. And condolences to you and all your family and anyone else around the world that's listening to this. He was a massive part of our childhood.
Yep.
And he's always going to be, the bad guy is always going to be remembered.
Who's in the Machismo?
I used to love it when he used to get the fucking toothpick and throw it at a kid. Do you remember? He used to do that on purpose.
Yeah.
I remember Brett at Royal Rumble giving a kid giving him the glasses, and he walked over and he threw it at the kid.
Who else could get away with doing that though?
Oh no, it was funny. He looked at him, you could see him mouth, and he was doing that like one man like that, and he went.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
I do have a what if question about Scott Hall.
Okay.
We want to go for it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's only a smallish one, but in 1998,
yes,
Scott Hall was in WCW, and X-Pac had just returned on Raw the night after WrestleMania, and it was the new DX, Triple H, and X-Pac later on to be the New Age Outlaws. Yep. And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had been taken off TV in WCW, and X-Pac had actually said, if Eric Bischoff wasn't holding you hostage, you'd be here with me right now.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think would have happened if Scott Hall had come back to the WWF in 1998? Do you think he would have joined DX? Do you think the New Age Outlaws would have gone off and done their own thing? Would Kevin Nash have come back with him? It's one of those questions I've been thinking a lot about.
I don't even know how to answer it.
No. I don't know.
I knew exactly where you were going to go, John, when you started. And you said, because I remember him going, I remember Shawn White when X-Pac going, and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash would be standing here right now with us if they weren't being held hostage by Eric Bischoff and WCW.
Yeah.
I remember that promo, and it was the night after WrestleMania. I really don't know. I don't know if WCW had corrupted them a little bit in terms of the politics. I don't know if they would have fit in.
I think that Scott Hall would have come back for a while, but I don't think it would have worked out, and I think eventually he would have been let. I think with WCW losing Hall and Nash, the NWO would have finished a lot sooner because you would have only had Hogan, really.
Well, and half the roster.
And half the roster.
But that's the problem, wasn't it?
You said that wrong. Thunderlips.
Thunderlips, yes. Hollywood Thunderlips.
Mountain of molten lust. Sorry, I can't get over it. I always remember that. That was that old... I know we're going on about it again, but bollocks. It was that old boy. He was in a white suit, wasn't he? He was that old boy. Do you remember he was the ring announcer? He had that big handlebar moustache. He was the one who said it.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I remember that now.
That's the last time we're doing that now. I promise.
Sorry.
I won't bring it up again. Bullshit.
Okay, so should we move on? Yeah, so quite a somber little thing there, but...
It's just the mark of respect that we feel that we wanted to do, and I think we needed to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so...
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so...